Many of us believe that overthinking is a form of preparation, that if we analyze every possibility, we can prevent disappointment. But in truth, thinking too much often leads to mental exhaustion, anxiety, and emotional fatigue. When our minds are constantly spinning, replaying past events or projecting fears into the future, we lose touch with what really matters, the present moment. In Buddhist wisdom, there's a deep understanding that calming the mind doesn't mean ignoring our feelings. It means approaching them with clarity, space, and compassion. In this video, you'll discover 10 Buddhist teachings to ease mental overactivity and find greater inner peace, even when life feels overwhelming. The first lesson is this: watch your thoughts like clouds drifting across the sky. Your mind will always generate thoughts, just as your lungs breathe air. It's natural, it's continuous, but you don't have to follow every single thought that arises. Most suffering doesn't come from what we think, but from how tightly we cling to those thoughts, how much power we give them. Imagine sitting on a quiet hill, watching the sky. A thought passes like a cloud. You don't chase it, you don't hold on to it. You simply notice it, let it pass, and return to your stillness. This act of observing without attachment can bring surprising relief. When you create a gentle distance from your thoughts, it's as if your chest opens and something heavy lifts. At first, it's not easy. The mind is used to pulling you into its stories, especially when you're hurting, anxious, or reliving a difficult memory. But with time and steady practice, this habit of gentle observation becomes natural. And that's where your freedom lies, in realizing that you are not your thoughts, you are the space in which they come and go. Now let's move to the second teaching. Simplify your worries. The mind has a habit of overcomplicating everything. It zooms in on tiny details, invents future problems, replays awkward moments, and clings to irrelevant noise. And slowly we start to feel heavy, scattered, and tired. But what if you could pause and ask yourself, does this really matter? Will this thought still be important in a week, a month? Often the answer is a quiet no. And that realization is freeing. Simplifying your thoughts is like decluttering a room. You remove what's unnecessary, let go of what's outdated, and make space for clarity. This doesn't mean avoiding your problems. It means learning to discern what's actually worth your attention. You'll find that when your mind isn't occupied with every minor irritation or what-if scenario, you're able to focus more clearly on the things that do matter: your health, your loved ones, your peace of mind. The third lesson is a powerful one. Let go of the past and stop obsessing over the future. One of the mind's favorite traps is dragging us through time, either to what's already happened or what hasn't yet arrived. We replay old mistakes, regrets, or heartbreaks, or we project into the future, imagining worst-case scenarios that may never happen. And all of that pulls us away from what's real, right now. The present is the only moment where life truly exists. The rest is just memory or imagination. The past can teach us, yes, but we don't need to live there. The future can be planned for, but not predicted. When we spend too much time in either direction, we miss out on what's happening in front of us. A quiet conversation, a gentle breeze, a new opportunity. The Buddhist path reminds us to return to the now, because it's in the now that healing begins. The now holds the doorway to peace, to wisdom, to truth. And slowly, as you practice being here, you'll find that the pain of yesterday and the fear of tomorrow begin to soften. The fourth teaching is simple but deeply transformative. Cultivate gratitude for the little things. So often we wait for grand events to feel joy. We think we'll be happy once everything aligns perfectly, but the most lasting happiness often grows in the soil of small, quiet blessings. A warm meal, a kind glance, a moment of silence after a long day. When we start noticing and appreciating these details, our hearts begin to open in a different way. Gratitude shifts our mindset from lack to abundance. It gently invites us to stop measuring what's missing and start acknowledging what's already here. And this isn't about pretending everything's fine. It's about training your eyes to see beauty, even in imperfect circumstances. In Buddhism, gratitude is a powerful form of presence, because when you're grateful, you're awake, you're paying attention, you're recognizing that life, even in its simplicity, is full of small miracles. The fifth teaching may be the most personal of all. Be compassionate with yourself. This world often rewards perfectionism, performance, and pushing through pain. And in the process, many of us have learned to speak to ourselves with harshness and impatience. We criticize our flaws, we judge our mistakes, we hold ourselves to impossible standards. But what if you change that inner voice? What if, instead of a critic, you became your own source of comfort? Self-compassion means accepting your humanity. It means remembering that you are allowed to be imperfect, to rest, to feel, to begin again. When you stumble, instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" I'd ask, "What do I need right now?" That shift is subtle, but profound. Buddhism teaches that healing doesn't start with fixing, it starts with gentle awareness, with offering yourself the same kindness you'd offer someone you love. And here's a truth many forget. Being kind to yourself makes you kinder to others. When you hold space for your own struggles, you become more patient, more understanding, and more present with the world around you. Compassion starts within, and from there it expands, touching your family, your friendships, even strangers. A kind heart isn't weak. It's strong in the quietest, most resilient way. The sixth teaching that Buddhism offers is both humble and life-changing. Accept what you cannot control. One of the main causes of emotional exhaustion is the constant effort to manage everything: people, outcomes, expectations, time. But the truth is, no matter how careful we are, some things will not go according to plan. Events will unfold differently. People will act in unexpected ways. Life will surprise us. And when we resist these truths, we suffer more. Acceptance is not giving up. It's not passivity. It's strength disguised in softness. It's the wisdom of knowing what belongs to you and what doesn't. You can control your choices, your words, your breath, but you cannot control how others feel, what they do, or how life unfolds. The more we try to grip everything with tight fists, the more we end up exhausted and disappointed. The Buddhist path invites us to let go gently, not with resignation, but with trust. Trust that even if things don't happen the way you expected, they can still bring you growth. And here's something curious. When we accept that not everything is in our hands, a new kind of peace begins to bloom. It's the kind of calm that says, "I've done my part. Now I release the rest." You feel lighter, more open. You're not trapped in the cycle of overthinking, and your mind has space to breathe again. Acceptance doesn't mean liking every situation. It means making peace with reality and choosing to respond, not react. The seventh teaching is deeply practical. Return to the present moment. Time after time, our thoughts pull us in two directions, the past and the future. And every time we follow, we lose the opportunity to truly live the moment we're in. But when we return to the now, truly return, something powerful happens. We come home. We reconnect with ourselves. Sometimes it only takes a breath. One slow, intentional breath. Feel the air entering your nose. Notice the rise of your chest. The way the breath leaves your body, that's it, you're back, you're alive. The present doesn't have to be extraordinary to be meaningful. Drinking water, watching the sky change, holding someone's hand. When you really see these moments, when you're not thinking about what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow, you begin to realize how rich life already is. Buddhist teachers often say, when you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. Simple, right? But try it. Put your phone away. Let your thoughts quiet. Just be with the experience as it is. This is mindfulness. Not a trendy word, but a doorway to freedom. And the more you practice this gentle returning, the more it becomes a part of you. You'll notice you're calmer in conversations, more grounded when making decisions, more patient in moments of stress. The mind stops rushing and the heart feels more anchored. Now, before we continue, I'd like to take a brief pause and say something important. If this video, this message, or even just one sentence has brought you a moment of peace, I'd love to gently invite you to subscribe to the channel. Not as a follower, not as a number, but as someone que também busca viver com mais leveza. And if something here resonated with you, share it in the comments. Tell me what touched your heart. Or share this video with someone you care about, not because it's content, but because it might be the comfort they didn't know they needed today. Here, we're building more than a channel. It's a space for reflection, healing, and quiet strength. Your voice is welcome, your presence honored. So stay. Let's keep walking ese camino juntos. With that, let's return. The eighth teaching is both ancient and modern. Practice meditation, not for perfection, but for presence. You don't need to be a monk. You don't need incense, silence, or a cushion on the floor. What you need is a few minutes, just enough to pause and be with yourself. Sit down, close your eyes, bring your focus to your breath. That's it. That's the beginning. At first, your thoughts will wander. That's okay. You're not doing it wrong. The point of meditation isn't to erase thought. It's to observe thought without being pulled away by it. Meditation is like giving your mind a gentle bath. It washes away the noise, the mental clutter, the rush of modern life. You might feel restless at first, bored, impatient, but slowly, and I mean slowly, something shifts. Your breath deepens, your shoulders drop, you soften inside. With regular practice, meditation becomes more than a ritual. It becomes a refuge, a quiet place you can return to no matter what's happening outside. When the world feels too loud, when your thoughts spiral, when your emotions feel too big, and meditation becomes the anchor. Even just 5 minutes a day is enough to start changing the way you relate to your thoughts. You become less reactive, more aware, and far more gentle with yourself. The ninth teaching flows naturally from this. Trust the rhythm of life. So much of our anxiety comes from trying to force things. Timelines, outcomes, expectations. We want answers now. We want closure, certainty, resolution. But life doesn't work that way. Life unfolds in seasons, some fast, others slow, some filled with sunlight, others with long, quiet nights. When you trust the rhythm of things, you start to let go of that inner urgency. You stop needing everything to happen all at once. You begin to see that life has its own intelligence, that things often happen not when we want them to, but when we're ready to receive them. That's not always easy to accept, but it's deeply freeing. Let go of the belief that you're behind. You're not. Your path is yours, your timing is yours. What's meant for you will not miss you, and what misses you was never yours to begin with. The Buddhist perspective reminds us, resistance creates suffering, but trust opens space for peace. Let's revisit that last teaching before we continue. Trusting the rhythm of life. It doesn't mean we stop making plans or that we give up on our dreams. On the contrary, it means we plant our seeds, water them, care for them, and then trust that the soil, the sun, and the seasons will do their part. It means understanding that growth doesn't always look the way we expect. Some progress is loud, visible, and fast. Other progress is subtle, silent, and slow, like roots growing deep before a tree can rise. Sometimes, when things feel like they're standing still, they're actually shifting in ways we can't yet see. You might not feel it, but you're healing. You might not notice it, but you're learning. And life, quietly, patiently, is preparing what's next. When you trust the flow, you stop pushing so hard against yourself. You make room for wonder again. You begin to sense that life is not a task to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. And that, in itself, brings peace. This brings us to the 10th and final teaching. Breathe deeply and slow down. We live in a world that values speed. Everything needs to be fast. Our responses, our results, even our healing. But your soul doesn't move at that pace. Your inner world blooms like nature does, in cycles, in pauses, in rhythm. Slowing down is not a luxury. It's a necessity. It's a return to yourself. And the gateway to that return is your breath. In the middle of a stressful day, take a single conscious breath, not a shallow one, a deep, grounded inhale. Feel your lungs expand, your ribs widen, your belly soften. Then let it go slowly, gently. That one breath has the power to interrupt the spiral of anxiety, to bring you back into your body, to tell your nervous system, you're safe, you're here. You can do this anywhere, while waiting in traffic, walking through your home, standing in line, or sitting at your desk. These little pauses are like open windows in a crowded room. They let fresh air in. They let you in. When you slow down, everything changes. You notice the warmth of the sunlight, the taste of your food, the kindness in someone's voice. You live more. And no, this doesn't mean abandoning your responsibilities. Slowing down doesn't mean being lazy or inefficient. It means choosing presence over pressure. It means taking care of your energy, so you can show up to life fully, not burned out, not fragmented, just whole, just real. Buddhism has always honored the power of a single breath, not as a technique, but as a reminder. You are alive now, and that's enough. You don't need to earn rest. You don't need permission to pause. Your worth is not tied to productivity. It's tied to your being, to your heart, your soul, your presence. So go ahead, exhale, and let yourself be. As we begin to bring this part of the journey to a close, take a moment to feel how far we've come. From learning to observe your thoughts without judgment, to embracing the present, practicing gratitude, offering yourself compassion, and trusting the timing of your life. These teachings are not just ideas. They are invitations. Invitations to live differently, to live more gently, more deeply, more fully. They are not rules. They are practices, ones you can return to every day, even if it's just for a minute. You don't have to get it perfect. You don't have to transform overnight. Just begin. A single breath, a single moment of awareness, a single kind word to yourself. That's where peace begins. And maybe, right now, there's something inside you, a quiet knowing, that's whispering, this is the direction, not the direction of escape or denial or control, but the direction of truth, of kindness, of peace. This journey doesn't end here. These teachings don't close a chapter. They open one that you walk with your own steps, at your own pace. And as you do, I hope you remember that it's okay to start over. It's okay to rest. It's okay not to know all the answers, because life is not asking you to be perfect. It's only asking you to be present. So here we are. 10 teachings, 10 invitations, 10 quiet doorways back to yourself. Maybe as you listened, one of them stood out like a light in the fog, maybe more than one. Or maybe this was simply a moment of calm, a pause in your day where you remembered something important, that there is a part of you that is always whole, always present, and always enough. These Buddhist teachings aren't about following rules or becoming someone different. They're about removing the layers, the noise, the rush, the judgment, to reconnect with what has always been there. Your natural clarity, your steady breath, your soft inner voice. That voice isn't loud, but it's real. And when the world feels overwhelming, it's that voice that will gently guide you home. You don't need to master all of this at once. Let the teachings settle like rain into the soil. You can come back to them any time. One day, you'll sit down to breathe for just a minute and realize it's easier than before. One morning, you'll catch yourself being kind to your own heart without trying. That's growth. That's presence. That's you, changing in the quietest of ways. And maybe, just maybe, this video planted something in you. Something that doesn't need to be explained or labeled. A seed of calm, a sense of hope, a desire to keep going, but lighter, softer, more aware. If it did, if this moment meant something to you, I'd love to ask for something. Not as a creator asking for clicks, but as someone who's sharing space with you in this little corner of the internet. Would you consider subscribing to this channel? Not because you should, but because this can be your space too. A space where it's okay to feel deeply. A space where you don't have to be perfect, only present. Where we walk together, not as teacher and student, but as human beings trying to live with more meaning and peace. And if something from this video touched your heart, share it in your own way. It doesn't have to be a like or a comment, though those are welcome. It could be sending this to someone you love, writing down a quote that resonated, or simply sitting in silence for a few extra breaths. That's enough. That's already a gift. This isn't a community built on metrics. It's one built on presence, on reflection, on connection. You're not just a viewer here, you're part of this journey, and I'm genuinely grateful that you've walked this far with me. Before we end, let's revisit one last time the heart of these 10 teachings, not just with the mind, but with the body, with the breath, with a soft attention. 1. Notice your thoughts, but don't follow all of them. 2. Simplify your mental clutter. Let go of what doesn't serve. 3. Release the grip on the past and the future. Come back. 4. Practice gratitude, even when it feels small. 5. Treat yourself with the compassion you offer others. 6. Accept what you cannot control. It's okay to not hold everything. 7. Return to the present, again and again. 8. Meditate with gentleness, not pressure. 9. Trust the unfolding. Let life bloom in its own way. 10. Slow down. Breathe. There's no rush to being. These aren't just spiritual concepts, they're lifelines. And the beauty is they're always within reach. You don't need to climb a mountain or retreat to silence for weeks. You just need to remember. And when you forget, as we all do, you simply begin again. And now, as this video draws to a close, I want to say this. Thank you for being here, truly. Not just for watching, but for opening your heart to something deeper. This space wouldn't be the same without you. If you feel called, I'd be honored to have you as part of this small, growing circle of awareness and quiet strength. Subscribe not for updates, but for reminders. Reminders that peace is possible, that you are not alone, that even in a noisy world, there is a way to live gently. So take one more breath, slow, present, kind, and carry these teachings with you, not as pressure, but as quiet companions. Until next time, take care of yourself, be tender with your journey, and remember, everything you seek might already be within you.